Today, we find ourselves on the cusp of profound global changes foreshadowed by the writings in Revelation, specifically of its chapter 13, the Antichrist. This isn't mere speculation, but a reality that grows clearer with each passing day. We are engulfed in a world where the frequency and severity of natural calamities shock our senses. From raging fires to unprecedented storms, the earth seems to be crying out. War, too, has not spared us. Its echoes are omnipresent, creating ripples across continents. It seems like Israel is going against the whole Middle East, and Ukraine is still protecting itself from invasion. We hear of conflicts near and far, with nations pitted against one another, escalating tensions that threaten global peace. And as we gaze at the societal landscape, it's evident that divisions are deepening, tearing at the very fabric of our communities. Technology, once a herald of unity and progress, now also serves as a wedge, dividing us in ways we hadn't anticipated. It connects us across continents, yet isolates us from our neighbor. In this digital age, misinformation spreads faster than truth, and privacy has become a currency. Particularly notable is the global political climate. As we approach 2024, not only the United States, but also approximately 64 countries face national elections. This isn't just a routine electoral cycle. It's an unprecedented wave of democratic engagement that encompasses nearly half of the world's population. Such widespread political activity is bound to accentuate global divisions as differing ideologies clash at the polls. Amidst this backdrop, societal rifts widen. We see this in the streets, in protests and marches, where one group stands against another, each upholding their truth as the only truth. These are not mere disagreements. They are fundamental battles over the future direction of our societies. The spiritual implications of these times cannot be overstated. We are witnessing the spirit of the Antichrist as foretold. This spirit is not a future apparition, but a present reality, influencing events and shaping cultures in preparation for what many call the New World Order. Understanding these signs is crucial, not just for those who follow biblical prophecy, but for anyone concerned about where humanity is headed. We are urged to observe, to understand, and to prepare. The Scriptures provide not just warnings, but guidance, offering light in these shadowed times. As we look around, the evidence of these prophetic times is undeniable. We must choose how we respond. Will we ignore the signs, or will we prepare, engage, and seek wisdom? The choice is ours, and it is urgent. Imagine for a moment a leader emerging in our midst, not just any leader, but one who transcends these deep divides with a promise of peace and unity. The Scriptures warn us of such a figure, the Antichrist, a charismatic presence who will appear at a time of widespread discord, claiming to bring harmony to a fractured world. This individual isn't just another charismatic politician. The Bible reveals him as a master of deception, skilled in the art of persuasion. He will draw in people from all corners of the earth, from every tribe and language, convincing them to cast aside their deeply held beliefs for a new, unified vision. This is no small feat in our staunchly divided world, where people cling to ideologies like life rafts in turbulent seas. Yet, the question arises, how could such unity be possible? The answer lies in the methods employed: coercion and deception. Consider the warning in 2 Corinthians 4:4, where it is said that the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers, so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. This scripture isn't just a metaphor, it's a direct reference to the profound influence wielded by malevolent forces in our world, specifically Satan, also referred to as the dragon in the Bible, who once blinded people's minds and may very well do so again. The implications are dire. If the dragon could blind us once, who's to say he won't attempt to do so again, making the world view the Antichrist as a figure of salvation rather than the malevolent force he truly is? This is a critical reflection we must all consider, as the title God of this world attributed to Satan isn't just a title. It signifies a deep and persuasive control over popular perceptions and beliefs. The emergence of Antichrist, as described in biblical prophecy, should not be seen merely as a future event to either fear or dismiss, but rather as a current process. We are witnessing leaders today who, under the guise of resolving global issues, subtly weave threads of discord and manipulation. They promote superficial unity, but at the cost of genuine understanding and respect for diverse cultures and faiths. As we stand in the midst of these tumultuous times, it is our responsibility, our imperative, to remain vigilant. We must challenge ourselves to look beyond the surface, to question the motives of those who claim to be unifiers. Will we be swayed by charm and grand promises, or will we hold fast to our truths, our faith, and our discernment? Remember, true unity doesn't come from coercion or deceit, but through mutual respect, understanding, and shared values. When Scripture names an entity, it's not just a label. It's a gateway to understanding their role and impact. Consider the being named Apollyon, known in Greek as Abaddon, the Destroyer. This angel, bound in the abyss, is foretold to ascend with ruinous power, ushering in unparalleled destruction as described in Revelation's 9th chapter. His emergence will embody his name, wielding chaos upon earth. In a similar vein, the Bible's reference to Satan as the god of this world in 2 Corinthians 4:4 isn't a mere title. It's a stark acknowledgement of his profound sway over our world's spiritual and moral decline. This isn't about defying Satan. Rather, it recognizes his temporary yet powerful dominion over earthly kingdoms, influencing them away from the light of truth. Reflect on the world around you. Observe the subtle shifts and overt upheavals in our society's values and norms. Isn't it evident that malevolent forces are sculpting our world's future? This isn't random. It's calculated manipulation by those who rule from the shadows. The biblical account where Satan presents all kingdoms of the world to Jesus, showcased in Matthew 4:10, NLT, "Get out of here, Satan," Jesus told him, "for the scriptures say, you must worship the Lord your God and serve only him," wasn't just a dramatic spectacle. It was a bona fide display of his control, which he promises to hand to the Antichrist. This scenario isn't just a tale of past temptations, but a looming reality, a precursor to what we may soon witness on a global scale. The Antichrist's arrival isn't to be a sudden apocalypse, but a subtle transition, as he will be empowered by the very essence of deception, Satanic energy from the abyss. His influence will gradually permeate our societies, unnoticed by many who are not vigilant. What does this matter to us today? Because understanding these titles and their implications isn't about fear-mongering, it's about preparation. Recognizing the presence of such forces allows us to see beyond the surface of world events, to brace ourselves and align with enduring truth rather than transient power. As we move forward in these turbulent times, it becomes crucial to discern the narratives fed to us. The script is already written, the roles already assigned. The question remains, will we play our parts as unwitting pawns, or will we choose to seek out the truth behind the curtain? Throughout the corridors of history, no single figure has emerged with the capacity to alter the course of humanity as profoundly as the entity known as the Antichrist. This figure, cloaked in the guise of peace and unity, will orchestrate a deception so grand that it ensnares every nation, compelling people from every walk of life, be they affluent or impoverished, free or enslaved, to bear a mark. This mark, placed either on their right hand or their forehead, symbolizes a universal allegiance unprecedented in its scope. Imagine a world where one man, wielding immense power, convinces all of humanity to follow him through cunning and manipulation. The Antichrist, as foretold, will broker a treaty that promises global harmony. Yet, this peace is a mere illusion, a prelude to chaos, as he will break this pact halfway, plunging the world into a darkness unlike any before. This era will witness a surge in persecution against those who hold fast to their faith, with the Antichrist leading a ruthless campaign against the devout. The scale of this persecution will be unlike anything documented in the annals of history, with the faithful facing trials that test the very essence of their spirit. Accompanying him will be a figure known as the false prophet, who performs miracles so astounding that they mimic the wonders of the prophets of old, including calling down fire from the heavens. These signs and wonders are designed to deceive, to lead even the most faithful astray if possible, showcasing a supernatural prowess that challenges the very notion of reality. Today, with every crack and division in our global community, we must ask ourselves, are these the signs of the stage being set for his arrival? Are we living in the moments leading up to the end as foretold? Is this the unfolding of the book of Revelation right before our eyes? Each day seems to echo the warnings given in Matthew 24 about the age of deception. These aren't just ancient words. They are a mirror reflecting our current world. We're witnessing not just political and economic shifts, but a spiritual turbulence as predicted millennia ago. So what does this mean for you, watching this right now? It means vigilance. It means understanding the times and recognizing the signs. It isn't about fear, it's about preparation. It's about knowing that these events must pass. Our response to them defines our journey. As we navigate through these tumultuous times, remember the words of Matthew 24. Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. This isn't just a call to look to the skies, but to look around you, to discern the times, and to stand firm in faith. Have you ever stopped to ponder the speed at which our world is changing? The technological leaps and bounds we've witnessed in just the last decade surpass anything from centuries past. This rapid acceleration, isn't it precisely what Daniel the prophet envisioned when he spoke of a time when knowledge would increase? Today, our fingertips command more information than the libraries of old, and words of Scripture reach far corners of the globe instantly. And yet, isn't it ironic? In this age where knowledge is at its peak, misinformation spreads just as swiftly. As we connect across continents, the very prophecies of old seem to unfold before our eyes. Conflicts, rumors of wars, aren't these the signs foretold by Jesus in Matthew 24? It seems every headline hints at another skirmish, another division, seeding the ground for the great battles of the end times. Look around. The natural disasters striking with terrifying regularity. Earthquakes, hurricanes, famines. Aren't these the birth pains Jesus described? Each calamity is a reminder, a sign of the times edging closer to their profound conclusion. And what of the leaders who lead many astray? The rise of false prophets is not a tale of ancient times, but a present reality. Prosperity gospels, New Age deceptions, and diluted truths crowd the airways, filling pews with eager listeners. This is not just a fulfillment of prophecy. It's a clear signal that many have turned from the pure essence of faith, drawn by the allure of comfort and false promises. The coldness of hearts, turning away from faith. Isn't this exactly the apostasy the Bible warned us about? Sin and lawlessness multiply, cooling the love that once burned bright in the hearts of believers. Amidst these signs, there is a concerted push towards a unified global economy. The advancements in technology, startling as they are, could well pave the way for the mark of the beast, a concept once thought far-fetched, now potentially just a breakthrough away. Yet, amidst the turmoil and deception, there lies a beacon of hope. The gospel continues to be preached to all nations. This gospel evangelism is not just a mission. It's the fulfillment of a divine mandate, a prerequisite for the dawn of a new era. As we stand witness to these unfolding events, ask yourself, are we merely spectators, or are we participants in a divine narrative that has been written long before our time? This isn't about fear. It's about awakening. It's about recognizing the signs and preparing ourselves, not with dread, but with the assurance that our understanding and faith are foundations we can rely on in turbulent times. In this journey of faith and fulfillment of prophecies, let us not be swayed by the voices that seek to mislead. Let us hold firm to the truth, guided by the wisdom of the Scriptures and empowered by a clear vision of what is to come. Are you ready to look beyond the chaos and see the bigger picture? Are you prepared to stand firm in faith, equipped with knowledge, and unwavering in the face of the storm?
Are you aware that we're living in times that are setting the stage for an unprecedented global shift? One that leads straight into the era of the Antichrist. Picture this. Deep beneath the ocean's surface, a monstrous entity rises. It's not just any creature. It's a formidable force with 10 horns and 7 heads, each crowned majestically, but marked with symbols of rebellion. This beast embodies the pinnacle of animal prowess. It has the swift grace of a leopard, the unyielding strength of a bear, and the deadly bite of a lion. Given power and a throne by a dragon, this beast rules with unmatched authority. Among its heads, one shows a scar from a mortal wound, yet it's miraculously healed. This spectacle draws global attention, stirring awe and allegiance. Who can rival the beast? Who dares challenge it, people wonder, as the dragon and the beast command reverence worldwide. This beast doesn't just rule, it speaks. For 42 months it utters boasts and blasphemies against the divine, targeting his sacred name and dwelling, and all who reside in heaven. It's also granted terrifying power to declare war on the saints and to conquer them. Its influence is universal, transcending cultures, languages, and nations, demanding fealty from everyone not inscribed in the Lamb's Book of Life since the world began. We're talking about a time when the entire earth, across every border and language, finds itself under the sway of this beast. It's a reality that demands our attention and understanding, as it affects everyone not destined for the Lamb's Book of Life. Listen if you have ears, it was proclaimed. Those destined for captivity will be captured. Those destined to fall by the sword will perish by it. This moment calls for the perseverance and faith of the holy ones. The Bible, a compilation of 66 books split between the Old and New Testaments, unfolds as a singular narrative spanning over 1,600 years and authored by 40 diverse individuals. This remarkable coherence is attributed to the divine inspiration of the Holy Spirit, who guided each author's hand. The scripture we hold today, from Genesis to Revelation, narrates a unified tale of divine intervention and human journey, a testament to the extraordinary act of God imparting His word to mankind. This narrative weaves a connection from the very beginning of Genesis, with Noah's Ark and the subsequent repopulation of the earth, to the collective endeavor at Shinar, where humanity speaking one language attempted to establish their first New World Order with the construction of the Tower of Babel. This act of unity and ambition caught the attention of the divine, who, recognizing the potential for malevolence, intervened by confounding their language, dispersing them across the earth. This dispersion laid the groundwork for the diverse cultures and societies we see today. This story, deeply embedded in our sacred texts, serves as a potent reminder of humanity's enduring quest for unity and dominion, often veering into realms of overreach that invoke divine intervention. It underscores a pattern of aspiration and the consequential checks that shape our collective history, mirroring the profound themes of ambition, judgment, and the pursuit of a new world order as seen through the lens of faith and divine oversight. This narrative, rich with symbolism and warnings, calls for reflection, urging us to discern the movements beneath the surface of our current world stage, recognizing the echoes of the past in today's quest for global unity and control. Let's explore how this interconnectedness of our world, driven by globalization, mirrors these ancient forecasts, especially those predicting the rise of a figure who challenges divine authority. Our journey takes us back to the dawn of civilization, to a man named Nimrod. Esteemed as a formidable hunter and the architect behind the earliest cities, Nimrod's legacy is one of defiance. Though the scriptures do not label him as the Antichrist, the resemblance is striking. His ambition to erect a tower reaching the heavens was a direct affront to the celestial order, an act of rebellion that echoes through the ages. Fast forward to the 2nd century BCE, where we meet Antiochus IV, Epiphanes. This ruler's persecution of the faithful and desecration of sacred spaces serve as a grim preview of the Antichrist's predicted actions. These historical figures, though centuries apart, are linked by a common thread: their defiance against the divine. As we return to the present, we see globalization knitting the world closer together. Advances in technology, medicine, and communication are erasing borders, creating a tapestry of interconnected lives. This global unity, while promising peace and prosperity, also steers us towards the fulfillment of ancient prophecies. The dream of a unified world, initially embraced as a solution to humanity's greatest challenges, now casts a shadow, hinting at the rise of a global dominion under the Antichrist's reign. The crux of our discourse rests at the intersection of this global integration and prophetic anticipation. The drive towards a world without borders, fueled by technological innovation, is not just a march towards progress, but a step closer to the realization of a prophecy that foretells a time when the world unites under a singular, potentially malevolent leadership. This exploration is not meant to incite fear, but to awaken awareness. By understanding the signs and the times, we can discern the direction in which our world is moving. The historical patterns and biblical prophecies are not mere tales from the past, but signposts guiding us through the complexities of the modern era. As we traverse this global landscape, let's not forget the lessons etched in history and scripture. The story of Nimrod and Antiochus IV, the unfolding of globalization, and the prophecy of the Antichrist are intertwined, offering us a glimpse into the future. In recognizing these patterns, we are not just observers, but participants in a narrative that spans millennia, called to live with insight and purpose in a world on the cusp of profound change. When we talk about the idea of a new world order, it's a concept that's thrown around quite a bit, isn't it? So what exactly are we diving into when we explore this notion? Essentially, it's the idea of bringing together the globe's military strength, its vast industrial capabilities, and its financial resources, all in the quest for a world that's peaceful, safe, and secure. It's about envisioning a planet without the barriers that divide us. No borders, no walls between nations. Imagine a world where people, cultures, and beliefs merge harmoniously. At face value, who wouldn't champion the cause of global unity and the melding of humanity into one cohesive entity? But as we peel back the layers, we stumble upon a rather imposing truth. Achieving such unity demands the guiding hand of a powerful, centralized authority, a body that dictates our actions, thoughts, and expressions. It's at this juncture that opinions diverge. Some voice caution, wary of the consequences of such centralized control, while others fervently advocate for this unified direction. The allure of a world united in peace and prosperity is undeniable. Yet the path to such unity is fraught with challenges, not least of which is the specter of centralized control over the global populace. As we navigate these waters, let's remain vigilant, questioning, always seeking the truth. Let's engage in this dialogue not as mere spectators, but as active participants in shaping our collective future. Remember, the conversation about a new world order isn't just about lofty ideals. It's about the very real implications of those ideals on our freedom, our rights, and our way of life. In the earliest pages of history, as recorded in the book of Genesis, chapter 11, verses 3 and 4, they began saying to each other, "Let's make bricks and harden them with fire." In this region, bricks were used instead of stone, and tar was used for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let's build a great city for ourselves with a tower that reaches into the sky. This will make us famous and keep us from being scattered all over the world." There's a tale that echoes the first whispers of what we today might call globalization. The narrative recounts a time when people, speaking a singular language, united with a grand vision. They said to each other, "Let's craft bricks and harden them with fire." With these bricks as their stones and tar as their mortar, they embarked on a monumental project. Their ambition was to construct not just a city, but one crowned with a tower stretching into the heavens themselves. Their motive? To forge a lasting legacy, to ensure their unity would not be scattered across the earth. Yet this project was in stark defiance of the divine directive to spread out and fill the earth, to harness and steward its vastness. This act of unity, instead of celebrating diversity and spreading out, stood as a challenge to the very essence of divine intervention. Turning the pages of history, we find another example in the era of the Assyrians. Known for their might and ruthlessness, they embark on campaigns of conquest, bending nations under their yoke through warfare, torment, and enslavement. Their thirst for dominion was clear. They envisioned a world under their singular rule. Similarly, the story of King Nebuchadnezzar, as unfolded in Daniel chapter 2, paints a picture of empires dreaming of global supremacy. Nebuchadnezzar's strategy of resettling populations to dilute identities and quell uprisings reveals an early blueprint for creating a unified empire, a precursor to the notion of a one-world government. This vision of a unified empire under a single ruler is prophesied to reach its zenith in the future, with the emergence of a final world empire. The Bible foretells the rise of a figure known as the Antichrist, a leader who will command a unified global allegiance. This leader, often referred to as the beast in the book of Revelation, and the lawless one in Paul's second letter to the Thessalonians, will wield unprecedented power. Revelation 13, verses 1 to 17, describe a world where allegiance to this leader is enforced upon all, irrespective of social or economic status, mandating a mark that allows participation in society's economic life. Today, we live in an era marked by unprecedented global interconnectivity. The ease of travel has shrunk the world, enabling individuals to traverse the globe in a matter of hours. Communication technology has similarly evolved, allowing messages to be shared instantly across vast distances. This global village, often taken for granted, was unimaginable in the past. Yet it's precisely this interconnectedness that brings to life the prophecies laid out in Scripture. As we steer this globalized world, witnessing the technological advancements that bring us closer together, we see the shadows of biblical prophecy emerging more clearly. It's crucial to recognize these signs, to understand the times we live in through the lens of these ancient texts. This understanding isn't about fear, but about awareness, recognizing the unfolding of a story told centuries ago and seeing our place within it. Whether it's the simple act of unlocking our smartphones, managing our financial transactions online, or even being subtly scrutinized by the unseen eyes of surveillance systems, this technology is omnipresent. Astonishingly, projections indicate that the facial recognition market is set to soar, with expectations to escalate from a substantial $3.8 billion in 2020 to an astounding $8.5 billion by 2025. This surge is not confined to the realms of security or personal convenience. Even our leisurely strolls through modern shopping centers are monitored by digital billboards. These billboards, equipped with hidden cameras, are not just passive screens. They analyze our facial expressions to deduce age, gender, and even our current mood, adjusting their displayed advertisements in real time based on this data. Beyond the confines of our homes, surveillance extends its reach. An experience that's left me taken aback involved a car manufacturer's app, which detailed my vehicle's movements over the past 2 years, down to the minutiae of parking durations at various locations. This pervasive monitoring is not merely for convenience or security. It lays the groundwork for a more sinister application in the hands of the wrong entity. Enter the realm of gait recognition technology, a leap forward in biometric identification. Unlike traditional methods that rely on fingerprints or facial patterns, gait recognition analyzes the unique way an individual walks. By examining elements such as rhythm, speed, and stride length, it creates a distinct profile for each person. This method stands out for its ability to identify individuals, even when their face or fingerprints are not visible, making it a powerful tool for security and authentication. These advancements, while remarkable, edge us closer to a future where global surveillance could empower the rise of a figure prophesied to usher in an era of unprecedented control: the Antichrist. The goal? To weave together the fabric of global religions, economies, and security into a single, unified tapestry that demands universal allegiance. The narrative of Revelation sheds light on this impending era, introducing us to the concept of an unholy trinity. This trio, comprising the devil, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, mirrors the divine trinity, albeit in a distorted form. The Antichrist, emerging from the sea, embodies opposition to everything Christ represents, simultaneously imitating him in a deceptive manner. This mimicry is a stark reminder of the depths of deception that will characterize this era. The term beast, used to describe the Antichrist, is emblematic of the brute nature of human governance when devoid of divine guidance. This figure, also known as the man of lawlessness among other names, signifies the culmination of human rebellion against God. His reign will attempt to steer humanity away from divine truth, leading instead towards a path of global dominion and deception. As we navigate these times, it's crucial to remain vigilant, not only about the technological tools we use, but also about the spiritual implications of our era. This is not just about privacy or convenience. It's about understanding the signs of the times and recognizing the deeper spiritual battle at play. Let's awaken to the reality that surrounds us, engaging in discussions that matter, and sharing insights that could illuminate the path for others. If this message resonates with you, I urge you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Is it just me, or do you ever feel like we're inching closer to the time of the Antichrist? It's as if the world is unraveling right before our eyes. Everywhere you look, there's signs of upheaval and chaos. From the devastating floods to the escalating conflicts, it's hard not to wonder if these are the harbingers of something greater. Take a moment to think about the state of the world today. We are bombarded with news of explosions, floods, and wars in distant lands. In Congo, lives are being lost. In Israel and Palestine, the death toll rises. Ukraine is gripped by conflict. Natural disasters strike with alarming frequency. From the floods in Dubai to those in Yemen and the earthquakes in Morocco, it's enough to make you question whether the end is truly near. The rise of the Antichrist is not just a tale from ancient prophecy. It's a concept that resonates with many as we witness the turmoil around us. According to the book of Revelation, the Antichrist will emerge during a time of great tribulation, heralding the culmination of history as we know it. In these tumultuous times, it's more important than ever to be spiritually prepared. The rise of the Antichrist is not just a distant event. It's a reality that could unfold before our eyes. As believers, we must stand firm in our faith and be vigilant in our readiness. Let's delve deeper into the significance of the Antichrist's rise. It's not merely a matter of prophecy. It's a reflection of the spiritual battle that's been raging since the beginning of time. The Antichrist represents the ultimate adversary, the embodiment of all that's opposed to God's kingdom. As we navigate these uncertain times, we must remember that our ultimate victory is not in earthly battles, but in the spiritual realm. The Antichrist may seek to sow chaos and destruction, but we can take comfort in knowing that God's plan will ultimately prevail. Let's also consider the role of the Antichrist in the context of world events. Could his rise be linked to the escalating conflicts and natural disasters we see today? While we cannot know for certain, it's clear that these events serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of our world. The question of whether the Antichrist will stop World War III is a complex one. As we wonder the implications of his arrival, we're confronted with a profound question. What role will the Antichrist play in the context of escalating global tensions, particularly regarding the possibility of World War III? While the scriptures do not explicitly outline the Antichrist's involvement in halting or exacerbating such conflicts, they do provide insights into his character and motives. He's portrayed as a deceiver, promising peace, but ultimately seeking power and dominion. In light of this, it's worth considering the factors that could influence the likelihood of World War III. One significant factor is the concept of nuclear deterrence, which posits that devastating consequences of a nuclear war serve as a deterrent against its initiation. Furthermore, the interconnected nature of the modern world and the availability of information make it increasingly difficult for leaders to justify large-scale conflicts. Public opinion and international scrutiny act as constraints against actions that could lead to such catastrophic outcomes. While the role of the Antichrist in the context of World War III remains speculative, the current global landscape suggests that the likelihood of such a conflict is mitigated by various factors. However, the uncertainty of the future reminds us to remain vigilant and mindful of the potential consequences of our actions. In this pivotal era, as we navigate the tumultuous waters of the end times, it becomes increasingly evident that we are mere spectators to a grand narrative unfolding before our eyes. Matthew 24 serves not just as a chapter in the sacred text, but as a vivid portrayal of the daily realities that beset us. The words of Jesus resonate with an eerie familiarity as we witness the escalating conflicts, the ever-looming specter of war, the relentless march of famine and disease, and the unsettling rumblings of seismic activity in diverse locales. These signs, though often regulated to the periphery of our awareness, are the clarion calls heralding a world hurtling towards its climactic denouement. They are not isolated occurrences, but rather interconnected threads in the intricate tapestry of a prophetic fulfillment. The disciples' query regarding the timing of these cataclysmic events and the signs that would herald Christ's return echoes through the annals of time, resonating with a sense of urgency that transcends the confines of any particular epoch. Jesus' response, delivered with a gravity befitting the gravity of the moment, serves as both a warning and a beacon of hope. His admonition to not be deceived by false messiahs and his prophetic pronouncements of wars and rumors of wars carry a weight that reverberates through the corridors of history. As we stand on the precipice of an uncertain future, the signs of the times demand our attention. The world, gripped by tension and uncertainty, teeters on the brink of upheaval. From the volatile regions of the Middle East to the simmering tensions in Europe and the Asia-Pacific, the stage is set for a global conflagration that threatens to engulf us all. Yet in the midst of this gathering storm, there is a glimmer of hope, a beacon of light that pierces the darkness. It's the promise of Christ's return, the assurance that, despite the tribulations that lie ahead, those who remain steadfast in their faith will ultimately be delivered. As we navigate these troubled waters, let us cling to the words of Jesus, who promised to be with us until the very end of the age. Let us stand firm in our faith, knowing that though the road ahead may be fraught with peril, we do not walk it alone. And let us hold fast to the hope that in the fullness of time, the Prince of Peace will return to usher in a new era of peace and righteousness. In the digital age, public opinion spread swiftly and extensively, exerting immediate pressure on governments to avert warfare. The advent of instant communication has led to heightened scrutiny of government actions and a broader comprehension of the atrocities of war, potentially influencing the decisions of leaders. Moreover, the potency of contemporary weaponry is markedly distinct from that of the 20th century. The progression of armaments from the world wars to the present era signifies a profound transformation characterized by technological advancements that have fundamentally reshaped the essence of warfare. The contemporary military arsenal encompasses precision-guided munitions, sophisticated missile defense systems, and stealth technology, enabling forces to strike with exceptional accuracy over vast distances. The evolution of nuclear weapons also plays a pivotal role, with today's arsenals possessing significantly greater destructive potential than those employed during World War II. The sheer might of these armaments leads me to believe that the likelihood of a World War III breaking out during the advent of the Antichrist is slim. However, it's crucial to acknowledge that upon his arrival, the Antichrist is prophesied to appear as a man of peace. There exists a plausible scenario where he averts global conflict as a harbinger of peace. It's important to note the cautious language used here. The scenario is plausible, not definitive. However, it stands to reason that a person who prevents global conflict would garner significant attention. The current global landscape, marked by substantial political tensions and turmoil, is not merely coincidental, but aligns with the prophetic narrative. This era of instability and chaos serves as fertile ground for the emergence of the Antichrist. As we witness today, the world is deeply divided, mirroring the predicted conditions preceding the arrival of the Antichrist. There's a universal cry for peace, a profound yearning reverberating across nations ravaged by conflict and division. In conclusion, the modern era's technological advancements and global political landscape suggest that the advent of the Antichrist, who may come as a peacemaker, could potentially avert World War III. However, these speculations remain within the realm of possibility, not certainty, as we navigate a world rife with tensions and uncertainties. The world's longing for peace is a powerful force that could unwittingly usher in the Antichrist, a figure prophesied to emerge as a deceptive beacon of false peace. The book of Daniel 8:25 offers a chilling glimpse into his nature, warning, "And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many." This verse suggests that the Antichrist will exploit the universal desire for peace to further his own agenda, using it as a mask for his true intentions. He'll rise to power under the guise of peace, but will ultimately bring destruction. Another passage, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, reinforces this warning, stating, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." This vivid imagery emphasizes the danger of trusting in a false sense of security, as it'll be swiftly shattered by unforeseen calamity. During the early stages of the tribulation, a period of intense trials and tribulation following the rapture, the world will experience a false sense of peace and security under the Antichrist's rule. However, this peace will be short-lived and illusory. Scripture mentions a peace treaty in Daniel 9:27, indicating an agreement that'll be made and subsequently broken by the Antichrist. The verse reads, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate." This passage suggests a period of apparent peace, possibly involving a treaty related to the Middle East. However, The agreement will be betrayed by the Antichrist midway through the 7-year period, leading to unprecedented chaos and turmoil. The Antichrist will deceive many with his promises of peace and security, but his true nature will be revealed in time. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us to remain vigilant and not be swayed by false promises of peace. At this critical juncture in prophetic events, there occurs a dramatic shift from a facade of peace to an outbreak of open conflict. In essence, this event is commonly understood as the Antichrist entering into a 7-year peace agreement or covenant, particularly with Israel, only to violate it halfway through, revealing his true sinister nature. This act of treachery underscores the deceptive tactics employed by the Antichrist and serves as a stark admonition to remain vigilant and discerning. The current global climate has left many feeling uneasy. However, for a Christian, the state of the world should not come as a surprise at all. In Matthew 24, 6-7, Jesus forewarned, "And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and earthquakes in various places." The wars, earthquakes, and pestilences unfolding are what the Bible describes as the beginning of sorrows. Jesus himself foretold the conditions of the world in the end times. So why be surprised? Do not dwell in fear, but remember, we've been warned about the days in which we now live. Our forewarning comes not from anyone else, but from the Lord Jesus Christ himself. According to Jesus, the last days will be fraught with perilous times, a fact that should neither shock nor dismay us. As followers of Christ, we're called not to fixate on the turmoil and unrest that may surround us, but to keep our gaze fixed on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. In these trying times, it can be challenging to uphold our faith.
One of the most critical and discussed events in biblical history is the construction of the Third Temple in Jerusalem. This isn't just about bricks and mortar. The Third Temple symbolizes a future era that will dramatically transform the current world order into one that aligns with divine prophecy, referenced in key scriptures such as Matthew chapters 24 and 25 and 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 and 2. The building of this temple is seen as a crucial precursor to further significant eschatological developments. Now, consider the impact of the two witnesses as described in Revelation 11, 1 through 13. These figures will stand in Jerusalem, projecting God's truth through miracles and teachings during the perilous times of the Great Tribulation. Their mission in Jerusalem is not merely about preaching. It's a powerful testament to Israel's unbreakable link to prophetic events. The eventual martyrdom and resurrection of these witnesses in Jerusalem are pivotal scenes that highlight the city's central role in divine prophecy. Moreover, the sealing of the 144,000, drawn from all the tribes of Israel, as highlighted in Revelation 7, 1 through 8, is not about denominational identity, but a divine selection of those who will carry forth God's purpose during turbulent times. This sealing underscores the protection and significant role of the Israelites, emphasizing that their journey and fate are intricately woven into the larger prophetic narrative. As we discuss these events, it's clear that Israel's role in prophecy is not just about the geographical or the historical, but is deeply spiritual and fundamentally transformative. The unfolding events prophesied in the scriptures underscore a timeline that is both compelling and critical to the world's future. This exploration invites us to reflect deeply on the profound implications of these prophecies. As we look at Israel, we see not just a country, but a stage where history and destiny converge. The future events that are set to unfold here are not isolated incidents, but are chapters of a larger story that involves all humanity. Whether one views these scenarios through the lens of faith or historical curiosity, the narrative of Israel as a beacon of prophetic fulfillment invites each of us to watch closely, and reflect on our place within these extraordinary times. As we ponder these truths, let us approach them with open hearts and minds, ready to understand and perhaps witness history in the making. Today, a pivotal moment is unfolding, centered in the historic and spiritual landscape of Jerusalem. This city, steeped in prophetic significance, is where pivotal events that could shape the future of mankind are set to occur. Imagine a scenario where a figure of profound influence steps into the spotlight in Jerusalem's prophesied Third Temple. Claiming divinity, this figure might deceive many, echoing the foretold abomination of desolation referenced in biblical texts like 2 Thessalonians 2:3 and 4, and Matthew 24:15. East of Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives holds its breath for a scene of epic proportions. Prophecy speaks of this mountain splitting in two in a monumental geographical event, signaling the second coming of Jesus Christ. This isn't just a spiritual revelation. It reshapes the very earth itself, as detailed in Zechariah 14:4, NLT. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives will split apart, making a wide valley running from east to west. Half of the mountain will move toward the north, and half toward the south. It's here that the journey towards ultimate redemption is believed to begin. Further north, the plains of Megiddo, known as Armageddon, are prophesied to be the stage for a great battle. This conflict, as described in Revelation 16, isn't just a skirmish. It's a gathering storm that could draw nations into a vortex of military engagement, centered around this strategic location. It's a battle that could pave the way for a new era of peace under Christ's rule, marking a 1,000-year reign of harmony and divine governance. And then, imagine a city not made by human hands descending upon the earth. Revelation 21 paints this picture of the New Jerusalem, a heavenly city that promises eternal peace and fulfillment of God's covenant. This vision captures a future where heaven and earth merge, rooted in the very heart of Israel. Israel, a small nation with an immense role in both historical and prophetic narratives, stands as a beacon to those who watch the signs of the times. This focus on Israel is not by chance, but by divine design. It's a call to vigilance and prayer for those who recognize its profound role in the unfolding of global events. As tensions rise and military conflicts escalate, the significance of these prophecies becomes even more apparent. The international community watches warily, aware that the stakes are high and the implications far-reaching. Without careful de-escalation, the spark from this region could ignite conflicts that spread far beyond its borders. It seems every day the news reports heightened tensions and hint at the imminent danger of global conflict. The headlines echo the past, reminding us of a time when the world was teetering on the brink of World War I. Today, military analysts and historians caution us we may be closer to World War III than we've been since the shadows of World War II receded. Why this sudden alarm? The rapid spread of sophisticated military technologies and the tangled webs of international alliances make our global landscape volatile. A simple misstep or misunderstanding could easily ignite a conflict that spirals out of control, involving nations around the globe. But it's not just analysts who sense the threat. Many feel as if the prophecies of old are unfolding before our very eyes. There's a growing conviction among religious and philosophical groups that these troubling times were foreseen, that the narratives of apocalypse from sacred texts are not just stories, but stark realities manifesting in real time. This sense of impending doom isn't baseless paranoia. It's rooted in a tangible escalation of global tensions and conflicts. Indeed, the signs are aligning as if the script of history is being written with a foreboding pen. According to the Gospel of Matthew, You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Matthew 24, 6-8. As the birth pains of a new era become more frequent and intense, our understanding of them must deepen. We are not merely passive observers. We are participants in a world that demands our attention and action. The urgency to act, to mediate, and to soften the tensions that threaten to unravel into a vast conflict cannot be overstated. Everywhere we look, the signs are clear. From the rising of incidents of cyber warfare that no country can escape, to the visible increase in military maneuvers in regions that were once calm. The world is interconnected in ways it has never been before, making every local tension a potential spark for wider conflict. In these times, it is essential not to succumb to fear or fatalism. Remember, the same scriptures that predict turmoil also call for perseverance and hope. They remind us that while we may witness the unfolding of challenging times, the final chapters are yet to be written by us. Our response to these signs should be one of vigilance and proactive peace-building. We must engage in open dialogues, encourage diplomatic resolutions, and foster an international community that prioritizes collaboration over confrontation. Each step we take towards understanding and cooperation is a step away from the precipice of war. As we ponder these realities, let's remember the power of unity and the strength of collective action. We are not doomed to repeat history if we choose to learn from it. Let's stand together, aware but unafraid, proactive but thoughtful, as stewards of peace in a world that looks to us for direction. This is not just a call to awareness, but a rallying cry for action. Let us rise to the challenge, informed by the past, but not bound to it, motivated by the opportunity to forge a future marked not by conflict, but by the triumph of peace over war, understanding over ignorance, hope over fear. Let this be the legacy we leave behind, a world safer and more united than the one we found, a testament to the power of human resolve and the enduring spirit of cooperation. We flip on the TV or scroll through our phones, and it's the same story. Conflicts between countries, shocking moves by central banks, and an unending stream of troubling updates. It's no wonder why a palpable anxiety hangs heavy over us all. Each headline seems to bring us closer to economic downturns, or worse, the specter of global conflict. What would we do if war were declared? Where would we take our families? How would we protect our children? Amidst this turmoil, a common question arises. Will we witness the start of another world war? The fear is not just about wars between nations, but extends to our daily struggles. How to pay next month's rent or handle sudden expenses without spiraling into crisis. The cost of living is climbing. Food, fuel, housing. It's a lot to bear. But here's a reminder. Amidst the chaos, don't lose hope. Turn off the news every once in a while and breathe. Remember, despite the uncertainty and fear, there is a steadfast truth we can hold on to. Imagine standing firm in a storm where, despite the howling wind and rain, you know deeply that you are not alone. There is a peace that comes from knowing that, above all, there is a higher power watching over us. Yes, even now, amidst the turmoil and the tempest, God remains sovereign. In these trying times, it's easy to fall into despair, to lie awake fearing what tomorrow might bring. But consider this. Perhaps today is the day to shift our focus. Instead of drowning in the what-ifs, let's anchor ourselves in faith. Let's draw strength from the knowledge that we are not navigating the storm alone. Each day is a new opportunity to rise above the fear, to make decisions not out of panic, but out of purpose, to choose hope over despair. And in each choice, we find strength, not just for ourselves, but for our communities, our nations, our world. As we face these global challenges, let us not forget the power of unity and collective resilience. When we stand together, support each other, and remember the enduring presence of divine grace, we are never truly defeated. The challenges are real, and they are many, but so are our reasons to keep striving, to keep hoping, and to keep praying. No matter the headlines, no matter the trials, we are not forsaken. Let's hold fast to that assurance, drawing comfort and courage from it. Let's live not in fear, but in faith. And remember, through every hardship and every storm, God is unchanging, sovereign on his throne. Oh, what a profound comfort it is to know this truth. Amidst the swirling chaos, why drown in worry? The same forces of nature, the winds, the seas, that bowed before his command, continue to do so. Just as he provided for Elijah through ravens, just as he cleaved the Red Sea for Moses and the Israelites, his ways remain miraculous. He is a pathfinder, the promise keeper. God reigns supreme. Embed this in your consciousness. As long as God reigns, peace should reign within you. Yet, here we stand, on the brink of potential global warfare. It's easy to fall into despair, to let fear cloud our judgment. But I urge you, resist that impulse. Consider Philippians 4:19. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. This isn't just text, it's a divine assurance. Feeling isolated? Forgotten? Let me remind you, God's concern for you is unwavering. He's not relinquished his throne, nor has he ceased to guide your future. For God's foresight transcends our own understanding. He envisions futures we have yet to dream of. Perhaps today finds you cornered by circumstances, obscured pathways seemingly without escape. I tell you, relinquishing control to God doesn't signify your defeat, but your utmost faith. Remember, as stated in Scripture, God is love, and that love extends to you personally. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. We read in 1 Peter 5:7. God is present, always. Reflect on your past. Can you see the traces of his presence, even in trials? He didn't bring you this far to abandon you. Here's a powerful declaration from Isaiah 43:1. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. How profound is it to recognize that you are claimed by God, not as a number or a face in the crowd, but intimately, by name. You belong to God, far removed from the clutches of darkness, distant from the grasp of any earthly power. Remember, God says you are his. What comfort, what security there is in knowing you are under his watchful care, guided by his hand, designed for his purpose.
It's time to wake up. The era of ignorance is behind us, and the moment to shine our lights has arrived. We're witnessing the signs of the times, unmistakable indicators that we're living in the end days. Society has shifted. It's no longer the world we once knew. Morality has become blurred, and the lines between good and evil are often indistinguishable. Our values are eroding, and it feels like the forces of change are looming, no longer lurking in the shadows, but boldly making their presence known. We must be alert and vigilant. Remaining asleep in such critical times would be detrimental. We need acute awareness and unwavering focus. Look around. The world is changing rapidly. Our societal fabric is fraying. And if we don't pay attention, we risk being swept away by the tide of transformation. Consider this. In the past, what was considered universally right or wrong is now a matter of personal interpretation. The concept of truth has been diluted, and relativism has seeped into every aspect of our lives. But amidst this confusion, there's a clarity to be found. The Bible provides us with a steady anchor in these turbulent times. It offers timeless wisdom and guidance that transcends cultural shifts and societal trends. Let's take a moment to reflect on Matthew 24:42, where Jesus instructs us to, "Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." These words are as relevant today as they were when they were first spoken. They remind us of the importance of staying vigilant and prepared, for we do not know when the end will come. The world is experiencing an unusual phenomenon, strange sounds echoing across the globe. From Sweden to Michigan to British Columbia. These eerie noises, resembling trumpets, have puzzled and alarmed many. Imagine Dr. Glenn McPherson's surprise in Canada when what he initially dismissed as a mere household appliance turned out to be a mysterious, unexplainable humming, intensifying even after he cut the power to his entire house. This bizarre occurrence, dubbed the worldwide hum, has been documented extensively on social media, sparking both curiosity and concern. These unexplained celestial trumpet blasts are not isolated incidents. They're happening worldwide. These strange noises, reminiscent of trumpet blasts, persist throughout the day. The implications are profound. It's unnerving, to say the least. People are understandably shaken, wondering what these sounds signify. Could they be the prophesied warning trumpets mentioned in the Bible? As we grapple with these perplexing occurrences, it's natural to seek explanations. Are these sounds merely natural phenomenon, or do they carry a deeper, more spiritual significance? The Bible speaks of trumpet blasts heralding significant events, particularly in the book of Revelation. Could these sounds be a modern-day fulfillment of biblical prophecies? Are we witnessing signs from a higher power? 2024 is proving to be a year of reckoning, a time when the world is forced to confront its fragility and its place in the cosmos. These unexplained sounds, reverberating across continents, serve as a potent reminder of our vulnerability and the mysterious forces at play in our universe. As we contemplate these phenomena, let us not dismiss them as mere coincidences, but rather as possible messages, urging us to reflect on our lives and the world around us. The world in 2024 is indeed facing a myriad of challenges, from environmental crises to political turmoil. These strange sounds only add a sense of foreboding that many are experiencing. They serve as a wake-up call, a reminder that we're not alone in this vast universe. Whether these sounds are natural or supernatural in origin, they compel us to pause and reflect on the state of our world and our role in it. Let us not succumb to fear or despair, but rather let us find strength in unity and hope. Let us use these mysterious occurrences as a catalyst for a positive change, a reminder of our shared humanity and the need to care for our planet and each other. These strange sounds may be unsettling, but they can also serve as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and our ability to overcome adversity. The trumpet-like sounds echoing across the world in 2024 aren't merely natural phenomenon. They echo the prophetic warnings of the book of Revelation. Could these be the very trumpets that brought down the walls of Jericho, now heralding a new era of divine reckoning? For those who follow Christ, these ominous sounds serve as a clarion call to re-examine our lives. They prompt us to prepare for His return, to cleanse our souls, and to strengthen our faith. As these celestial melodies reverberate, they ignite conversations about prophecy and salvation. They remind us of the spiritual warfare foreseen by the prophets, urging us not to dismiss these signs as mere anomalies of nature. Instead, they are a merciful reminder from God, urging us to ready ourselves for what lies ahead. Despite the fear these signs may instill, we are called to stand firm in our beliefs. We must not be swayed by uncertainty, but anchored by our faith. Even as the skies seem to speak a language of impending doom, we must seek clarity and truth. Scientists may offer explanations and conspiracy theories may abound, but the truth remains. Our world is in turmoil. Disasters grow more frequently and more devastating. The earth trembles under the weight of these signs, echoing the warnings of our ancestors. In 2024, the heartland of America has not been spared. Nature's fury has been unleashed in unprecedented ways. The eerie sounds in the sky, captured in viral videos, serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of our existence. Are these sounds the heralds of apocalypse, as some claim? Or are they simply nature's mysteries, yet to be unraveled? The questions linger, haunting us with each trumpet blast. Yet in the face of uncertainty, we are called to faith, to stand resolute in our beliefs. As we navigate these turbulent times, let us not be consumed by fear. Instead, let us be guided by faith, ready to face whatever may come. The signs are all around us. It's up to us to heed them and prepare our souls. Let us be vigilant, for the time of reckoning may be nearer than we think. Imagine the heart of America, once echoing the laughter and community spirit, now silenced by the destructive force of nature's fury. In a series of devastating events, Georgia, Kentucky, and Ohio were gripped by the terror of tornadoes, shattering their peace and uprooting their lives in a matter of moments. The month of April witnessed an unforgiving F2 tornado that plunged these states into darkness, as if night had descended prematurely. This natural behemoth left behind a wake of destruction, with homes reduced to rubble, testifying to the awesome power of the storm. Kentucky in particular bore witness to the sky birthing 9 tornadoes in a single day, a spectacle so surreal it felt as though biblical prophecy had leapt from the pages into reality. The aftermath resembled scenes from an apocalyptic tale, with power lines sprawled across the ground like fallen giants, and homes reduced to mere skeletons of their former selves. This catastrophic upheaval, both physical and spiritual, raises profound questions about our collective stewardship of the earth. The recent seismic activity, culminating in a 4.8 magnitude earthquake from Boston to Baltimore, underscored the fragile nature of our existence. For over 30 harrowing seconds, the earth beneath our feet shook, challenging our assumptions of stability and permanence. These events, while catastrophic, are not isolated incidents, but part of a broader narrative echoed in biblical teachings. The book of Revelation, in particular, foretells of great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in diverse places. Luke 21:11. There will be great earthquakes, and there will be famines and plagues in many lands, and there will be terrifying things and great miraculous signs from heaven. It serves as a stark reminder of our interconnectedness with the earth and the imperative to be mindful stewards of our planet. As we survey the wreckage, both physical and metaphorical, it becomes evident that our response to these calamities must be one of unity and compassion. The true narrative of these disasters is not one of despair, but of resilience and community solidarity. It's about individuals and communities coming together, embodying the biblical commandment to love thy neighbor as thyself, and demonstrating that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit remains unbroken. These events serve as a poignant reminder that we're not immune to the forces of nature, and that our actions have far-reaching consequences. They call upon us to reevaluate our relationship with the earth and with each other, and to strive for a more harmonious existence. A new storm threatens our resolve. The skies over Texas and its neighbors darken with the promise of torrential rains, capable of transforming streets into rivers and fields into lakes. But these are not mere metaphorical events. They're reminders of our collective actions and their consequences. Are we to view these as random acts of nature or as warnings from a higher power? The choice is ours to make. However, as the symphony of impending disaster grows louder, it becomes increasingly clear that these are not isolated incidents, but rather a call to action. The recent phenomena of strange trumpet-like sounds echoing across the globe, including over the United States, has sparked fear and speculation. While biblical texts predominantly mention regions like Israel, Iran, Libya, Russia, and China in their prophecies, the eerie connection between these sounds and the prophesied end times cannot be ignored. Whether these sounds are of divine origin or simply a natural occurrence, they seem to echo the earth's own cries, a foreshadowing of the retribution to come. The spiritual significance of these events cannot be overstated. These are indeed the trumpets foretold in Revelation. They signal not just the end of an era, but the beginning of a judgment that will be swift and severe. Those who are attuned to the spiritual realm understand that these sounds are a wake-up call. They call upon us to reflect on our lives, to examine our deeds, and to confront the darkness within us. For the day of judgment may be closer than we think, and the wrath of the divine will spare no one who've turned away from the path of righteousness. As we stand at this critical juncture in history, we must decide how to respond. Will we dismiss these sounds as natural phenomena, or will we heed them as warnings of a final reckoning? The choice is ours, but time is running out. The clock is ticking towards midnight, and the celestial symphony is beginning its crescendo. A stark reminder that we may have drawn the attention of forces beyond our understanding. Reports from places like San Francisco, where residents have reported hearing loud trumpet-like sounds emanating from the sky, have only added to the intrigue. These reports, which have been widely shared on social media, have sparked curiosity and fear in equal measure. Descriptions of these sounds as mechanical or trumpet-like, originating from the sky or possibly underground, have a long history, with accounts dating back centuries. However, in the age of the internet, these phenomena have gained unprecedented attention, with reports coming in from countries all around the world. As we witness these strange and unsettling events unfold around us, we're faced with a choice. Will we continue to ignore the signs and bury our heads in the sand? Or will we heed the warnings and prepare for what lies ahead? The choice is ours, but we must choose wisely. For the consequences of our actions or inactions will be felt by all. The time to act is now, before it's too late.